Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ardieai, guys, and welcome back to yet another Faction Focus Sunday. And we are starting to run out of factions, so let's quickly continue to see this to an end. So today we are taking a look at the Ardieai. So earlier we took a look at Titleist and the Ardieaians, and today we are taking a look at the Ardieai. Since they are the Balkan tribes, they still have the minus 50% mercenary recruitment, but the plus 50% mercenary upkeep. So it compensates a little bit for each other. As the Ardieai, you have a hard starting challenge, plus 2 recruitment at all slots in all ports, and plus 250% income from raiding. So let's get into it, and I'll see you guys on the campaign map. Okay, so here we are on the campaign map as the Illyrians. And as you can see, you start with a one minor settlement, which is a little bit of a rough start. You do have this province that is your starting province with one city that is coastal bound, which can help out. If we take a look at diplomacy, you are basically free to go whatever way you want. You don't have any allies, you don't have any friends. Maybe your only friend is a Trigali, which is only a trade agreement, so the rest is totally up to you. These guys hate you, but yeah, that is probably the first way to go take out this city with a fleet or an army. So military-wise, you do have a good amount of fleet options, and since you have plus 2 recruitment capacity in your ports, it would definitely be advised to upgrade these as soon as possible, because at tier 2 you get the Marines, you get Raiders, you get bigger ships, the Assaultiers and Tertres. I can never pronounce them right, but you know what they are. Tribesmen, Slingers, and Slave Slingers with a Scorpion on top. And you get the Onagers and Ballista ships at level 3, which is very good as well. And at tier 4 you get the Assault Hexerus. So you get very decent Marines units, like coastal units over here. Within 3 turns you have a very wide variety of fleet options for you to expand with. Army wise, you start with 2 basically pretty decent armies, although that does impact your income pretty much. At the start, you're only able to build Illyrian spears. You do have slave slingers, but seriously, I checked for like 10 minutes and I cannot figure out where to recruit these. So if we take a look at our options, your first option, your best option is probably to start building one of 3 buildings here. In the enclosed land, you have the horses, but the only horse you have is at level 2 is Illyrian Cav. Level 3 and 4 just gives you basically nothing. So you might want to delay that a little bit. See if you can get your infantry going first. Over here, the craftsman's house, you of course have your missile units. So you do get some Illyrian levies alongside the Greek ballista, which is a pretty handy combination. And of course your onagers. But as you can see, no real units like missile units, no slingers, no javelin men able to be recruited over here. So I don't know if that is a little bit of a bug on my end, but it seems a little bit weird to not be able to recruit either javelins or slingers, but to be able to have them in your army. So I don't know, maybe that's just me. And of course you have the Artisan Lodge, which gives you the Illyrian levies on tier 1, and of course it's only the Bronze Workshop. At tier 2 it gives you the Illyrian Raiders, which is basically a bit of an upgrade on basically everything from the Illyrian levies. At tier 3 you get some decent units, the Thurio Spears, the Marines, which are a pretty decent spear unit. I do believe these guys have precursor javelins as well. And of the Illyrian Hoplites, very decent, good unit, stable unit for a front line, and have like the Illyrian raiders or levies going from the side or from the back that can do a lot of damage. And at tier 4 you only get the Illyrian noble hoplites. So on land you do have a limited variety of units of armies that you can field, with mediocre cav even in the end game, mediocre infantry and decent hoplites, no slingers or javelins really, because either as mercenaries you cannot get them as well, maybe in other regions, but over here you're not able to get any missile units. So hopefully that's just a bug on my end, but otherwise I never knew this, to be honest, that these guys were not able to get missile units. So once we take a look at your armies, what are your expansion options? So the first most like goal would be to start taking your home province. So with that, I would recommend building the harbor 3 turns, build up your fleet, and with your fleet you should be able to take either Ardieai pretty damn quickly, since you can recruit like 5 units at a time. So within 2 or 3 turns you could have like a fully fitted out navy. And with these 2 armies combined you have a 13 stack, which on turn 1 you should pretty comfortably be able to attack, declare war, attack this, get this guy in the reinforcement to help. That should be even. It says it's not doable, but like get some stuff in here, and you should be able to get this pretty comfortably. And within 2 or 3 turns have your entire home province. On the next hand, you could probably expand pretty quickly in this area, because you have a few coastal cities like Ardieai. Arminium is a coastal city, Brundisium is a coastal city, Apollonia is a coastal city. So you could do is raid this entire coastline and from there expand on either into Rome or into Hellas. Although if you want to attack Rome, I would suggest do it early on, because in the mid-late game your armies will not be sufficient to stop Roman legionaries. So that is your expansion wise your best option, I think. Challenge wise, I think this can be a pretty difficult campaign. You do have to use your tactics like the ships a lot more in this one, since on land you have more limited unit variety than you have on your ships. So it is a pretty difficult campaign to start out with. Once you maybe get some comfortable land here, it might be a little bit easier, but you will encounter difficult enemies like the Greeks, the Syracusans over there, and the Seleucids over here. There will be tough factions to deal with, since your troops are just not as good as theirs. Maybe even struggle against like the barbarians with the high attack swordsmen. But yeah, you do have a very fun grounds for a challenge campaign, like in This Is Total War campaign. Could be really interesting as well. See how quickly you can get your ground over here. So I think I might be very tempted to do a Ardieai This Is Total War campaign in the near future, because this seems like a very interesting, pretty difficult campaign, difficult challenge for me. So with that being said, I think that's all I can say about this faction. So I know it's a little bit short, but it's just a little bit, it's not a big faction, so you don't have to talk about too much. But ladies and gentlemen, and that's all for today. I do hope you guys enjoyed this little instructional video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace!